So now that we've added a page and we've got it sitting where we want, you'll notice that you're looking at lots of empty panes here. And we can only see these panes because we're logged in as an administrator. So the next step, the next thing we need to do to this page is we need to add content. In order to add content, you need to add something called a module. And what a module is it's anything on your page that will hold data or content. You have lots of different options for modules, and the way you select them is you go to the top of your screen here, and in the center section, you see you have the Select a Module drop-down list. We can choose a module from this list, and depending on what the module is, it'll hold something different. So for instance, an announcements module is going to hold announcements. A documents module will hold documents. An events module, you guessed it, events. In this case, let's go ahead and choose the events module. We can give it a title. Let's call it calendar. If you didn't give it a title, it would just be called the name of the module, so in this case, events. If you didn't want it to have any title at all, you could simply put a single space in this title box. Next, we decide which pane we want to put it in. So these panes down here, they're all labeled, content, top, pane 1, 2, and so forth. We select the pane from that list. So in this case, let's put it in the right pane. Since there's nothing in the right pane, it doesn't really matter if we put it on the top or the bottom of the right pane. And then we can align it left, right, or center. In this case, we'll choose left, and we'll click Add. When we do that, we see down here in the right pane that we now have a module. It's called Calendar because that's the title we gave it, and it looks like a calendar because it's an events module, so that's what an events module looks like. Now that we've added it, there's a few things that we can do to a module once we've added it. One is we can move it. So let's say we wanted to move this module to the top pane. We would simply roll over this blue drop-down arrow. We would choose Move, and then we would select Move to Top Pane. And when I click on that, you'll notice that this module that's now sitting in the right pane, oops, if I click Move, Move to Top Pane, maybe I clicked the wrong one, it's now going to be moved to the top pane. The other thing you can do with it is you can actually add content to it. So every module will have something like an add event or edit text or add survey, depending on what the module is. You can also adjust the settings of the module. And if I go into settings, you see I have lots of different options there. You can change the title. You can select who can see the module. If you go into advanced settings, you can say that you want to display this particular module on all pages. If you go into page settings, you can see that I can change the color of the module or the border of the module. I can, if I expand advanced settings, underneath page settings, I can say I want to move this module. So if I wanted to move it to my home page, I could do that. Lots of different options within settings. You also have module-specific settings on several modules. So if you wanted to get to the event module settings, you could expand that, and there's lots of stuff you can do in there. We'll go over all these settings when we talk about the event module in particular. But I could adjust those settings and click Update. In this case, I'm going to click Cancel because I don't really want to change any of my settings at this point. But I do want to show you one other option, and that's actually deleting the module. So if I wanted to delete this particular module, there's always a Delete button. And I simply roll over that blue drop-down arrow, click Delete, and I click OK. And now you see the module, and now you don't. So that's basically the ins and outs of generally working with modules. In later tutorials, we'll talk through all of the specific modules and the options you have for each of those.